The evening sun was setting behind Joe's family restaurant, casting long shadows across the empty parking lot. Sarah Miller wiped down the counter for the 100th time that day, just like her father and grandfather had done before her. The small restaurant, famous for its potato dishes, had been in her family for 3 generations. "Quiet night," her brother Tom said from the kitchen, where he was peeling potatoes. The smell of their famous garlic mashed potatoes filled the air. "Well, it's Tuesday. Always quiet on." Sarah stopped talking as the bell above the door chimed. A very tall figure ducked to enter through the door. The stranger had to be at least 7 feet tall, wearing a long coat despite the warm weather. Their face was hidden under a wide hat, but Sarah could see they had very pale, almost bluish skin. "Welcome to Joe's," Sarah said with her usual friendly smile. "Table for 1." The stranger's head moved in an odd, jerky nod. Sarah led them to a corner booth, trying not to stare at how the stranger walked. Too smooth, like they were floating. "Here's our menu. We're famous for our potato dishes," Sarah said, pointing to their special section. The stranger's hands were covered in black gloves, and they held the menu awkwardly, like they'd never seen one before. The stranger spoke in a voice that sounded like it was coming through water. "Potato. This is what humans call earth roots." Sarah blinked but kept smiling. Working in a small-town restaurant, she learned to be polite to all kinds of people. "Yes, that's right. Our most popular dish is our loaded baked potato. Would you like to try that?" "Yes, all potato dishes. I will try all." The stranger's hat tilted up slightly, and Sarah caught a glimpse of eyes that seemed to glow faintly purple. "All of them?" "Sir, we have 15 different potato dishes." "Yes, all." The stranger placed something on the table that looked like a credit card made of crystal. Sarah went back to the counter, her hands shaking slightly. "Tom," she whispered into the kitchen, "we have a really weird customer who wants to order every potato dish on the menu." Tom peeked through the kitchen window. "Every dish? That's crazy. But I guess we have enough potatoes prepped." For the next hour, Sarah and Tom worked harder than ever. They'd brought out dish after dish: golden French fries, creamy mashed potatoes, crispy hash browns, cheesy potato skins, their special potato soup, and more. They had to push 2 tables together to fit all the plates. The stranger examined each dish like a scientist studying specimens. They would take small bites, make odd humming sounds, and type something into a device that looked like a phone but was completely transparent. Other customers started leaving quickly when the stranger made excited squealing noises after tasting the twice-baked potato. But Sarah noticed something else. The stranger's skin seemed to be changing color, turning slightly golden wherever they ate something. As the stranger finished the last dish, potato pancakes with sour cream, something strange happened. Their hat fell off, and for a second, Sarah saw something impossible. The stranger's face flickered like a bad TV signal, showing a head with no hair, huge purple eyes, and skin that looked like golden scales. The stranger quickly put the hat back on and stood up so fast their chair fell over. "Most excellent earth roots. Payment complete." They pointed to the crystal card on the table and rushed toward the door, having to duck again to get out. Sarah and Tom ran to the window and watched as the stranger hurried across the parking lot, but not toward a car. Instead, they disappeared behind the dumpster. A moment later, there was a soft humming sound and a flash of blue light in the sky. Back at the table, Sarah picked up the crystal card. It was warm to the touch and had strange symbols that seemed to move across its surface. Next to it was a small device that looked like a camera. "Tom," Sarah said slowly, "I don't think that was a normal customer." "No kidding." Tom picked up one of the empty plates. Every dish had been cleaned completely. "But they sure loved our potatoes." Sarah looked at the crystal card again. "Do you think we should call someone about this?" Before Tom could answer, both their phones buzzed. Someone had posted a picture of their restaurant on social media, but the text wasn't in any language they recognized. And in the comments, more strange symbols were appearing by the second. The bell above the door chimed again. Sarah and Tom turned to see 3 more very tall figures in long coats ducking to enter the restaurant. "We hear you have potato," they all said at once. Sarah Miller had never seen her family's small restaurant this packed before. Every table was filled with tall figures in long coats, all of them ordering potatoes. Tom had to call their cousins Mary and Jack to help in the kitchen, and they still couldn't keep up with orders. "Sarah," Tom called from the kitchen, "turn on the TV. Now." Sarah grabbed the remote and turned on the old TV above the counter. The screen flickered, but instead of the usual morning news, strange symbols floated across it. Then suddenly, the symbols changed into English. Emergency BROADCAST. Galactic NEWS NE2RK. Translation Active for Earth CCTR. The image showed their restaurant, but from high above. A purple-skinned alien reporter stood in front of the picture, speaking perfectly clear English. "Breaking news. A miracle discovery on the primitive planet Earth. A small cooking establishment has been found serving potatoes, a remarkable root vegetable that causes immediate cellular regeneration in most galactic species." Sarah dropped her notepad. The customers in long coats stopped eating and looked at the TV. The reporter continued. "First discovered by Food Scout Zix 427. These potatoes contain compounds never before seen in the known galaxy. Watch this remarkable footage." The screen showed their strange customer from yesterday, but without his disguise, a tall, purple-skinned alien with golden patches where he had eaten their potatoes. He was speaking excitedly. "The Earth cooking method, called twice baked, increased my lifespan by 50 cycles. The French fried version improved my vision, and their mashed potatoes with gravy cured my scale rot instantly." Tom came out from the kitchen, his face pale. "Sarah, look outside." Beyond their parking lot, a line of what could only be spaceships stretched into the clouds. Some looked like silver discs, others like glowing pyramids, and one was shaped like a giant floating restaurant. A new group entered the restaurant. These aliens weren't wearing disguises. They had green skin and antennae, wearing what looked like business suits made of light. "We represent the Galactic Food Corporation," their leader said, placing a briefcase on the counter. It opened to reveal stacks of glowing crystals. "We wish to purchase your establishment and all potato-related secrets for 1 billion space credits." Before Sarah could respond, another group burst in. These ones with red skin and 4 arms each. 2 billion credits, they shouted. The TV was still going. Scientists are baffled. The Earth potato appears to have different effects on different species. Reports are coming in of cured diseases, enhanced abilities, and even reversed aging. Earth restaurants are now being classified as Class A medical facilities. Sarah's phone started floating out of her pocket, surrounded by a blue light. It transformed into a sleek device, and alien social media posts started appearing. "Humans, HFY hiding me or AC lob food. Hashtag Earth potatoes. Just remortgage my space mansion to try Earth fries. Worth it. Hashtag potato power." Theory. Humans evolved from potato gods. Discussing on Galactic Chat. Tom grabbed Sarah's arm. "What do? We can't handle this many customers. And what about these offers?" Before Sarah could answer, their grandfather's old potato recipe book started glowing. The book floated off its shelf, ancient ketchup stains and all, surrounded by scanning beams from multiple aliens' devices. "Stop," Sarah shouted, and surprisingly, everyone froze. She took a deep breath and spoke to the entire restaurant. "Our family has been serving potatoes for 3 generations. We're not selling our restaurant, but maybe we can work something else out." The aliens leaned forward eagerly. "But first," Sarah continued, picking up her grandfather's recipe book, Someone needs to explain exactly what's happening to our potatoes when we cook them. And why did no one notice this before? An elderly alien in the corner slowly stood up. Unlike the others, he wore simple robes decorated with mathematical formulas. "My dear," he said in a whispery voice, "that's the most fascinating part. You see, it's not just the potatoes." He pointed to their old copper pots hanging on the wall. "It's the combination of Earth's soil, your family's cooking methods, and something else, something in your family's DNA." Every alien in the restaurant gasped. Sarah and Tom looked at each other, then at their hands, which had peeled thousands of potatoes over the years. The elderly alien smiled. "Tell me, young humans, have you ever wondered why your family never gets sick? Why your grandfather lived to be 103? And why?" He pointed to the small potato plant Sarah kept on the windowsill. "Why your plants grow twice as fast as anyone else's." Outside, more spaceships were arriving. But inside, Sarah Miller finally understood why her grandfather always said their potato restaurant wasn't just a business. It was a legacy. The Miller family hadn't slept in 3 days. Their small restaurant was now surrounded by floating billboards in alien languages, all automatically translating to "Potato Zone, AHEAD," and "Mire que lo foodie here." The parking lot had been turned into a spaceport, and the local police had given up trying to control traffic, especially after the flying cars started showing up. Final offer: TN by Leon, Space Securities. The red-skinned alien CEO slammed his 4 hands on the counter, making the coffee cups rattle. His name was Kar XR, head of McSorblax, the biggest fast food chain in 3 galaxies. Sarah wiped her forehead with her potato-stained apron. "Like I told the last 20 corporations, we're not selling. You stupid humans don't understand business." Zarkar's antenna twitched angrily. "We could make your potatoes available across the universe." Tom came out from the kitchen, carrying a fresh batch of their new cosmic fries, regular fries sprinkled with space salt that an alien customer had given them. The fries floated slightly above the plate. "Actually," Tom said, setting down the floating fries, "we understand business perfectly. That's why we've already made some better deals." He pointed to the corner, where 3 alien children were sitting with their parents, eating potato soup. The children's color-changing scales were shifting from excited purple to happy gold. Next to them, a group of Earth farmers was deep in conversation with tall, elegant aliens wearing botanical scanning devices. "See those farmers?" Sarah smiled. "They're learning how to grow potatoes in soil enriched with stardust. And those botanists are studying why Earth potatoes are special." Suddenly, their grandfather's old recipe book, which was now kept in a floating force field display, started glowing bright green. The elderly alien scientist from before, who they now knew as Professor Spudnik, hobbled over to examine it. "Fascinating," he wheezed, his glasses extending like telescopes. "Your grandfather's notes. They're not just recipes. They're formulas. Look at this note about cooking with love. It's actually a description of quantum enhancement through emotional energy." But before anyone could respond, the restaurant's lights flickered. Outside, a massive shadow fell over the parking lot. A spacecraft the size of a shopping mall hovered above them, bearing the McSorblax logo. Vizar Xer smiled wickedly. "If you won't sell willingly," he pulled out a device that looked like a potato peeler made of diamonds. "Perhaps you'll change your mind when I reveal that your family's DNA is the key. One quick scrape, and we can clone your potato-enhancing abilities forever." "I don't think so." A new voice spoke from the doorway. Everyone turned to see a group of aliens in sharp black suits entering the restaurant. Their badges showed symbols that made Kar XR turn pale pink with fear. "Galactic Health and Safety Administration," the lead agent said. "These potatoes have been classified as Class A medical miracle food. Any attempt to monopolize or weaponize them is a violation of the Universal Health Rights Act of 3157. Sarah and Tom shared a relieved look, but then Tom noticed something odd. The potted potato plant on the windowsill was growing rapidly, its vines reaching toward the ceiling. Professor Spudnik's eyes widened behind his telescope glasses. "Of course," he exclaimed. "The plants are responding to the heightened emotions in the room. Quick, everyone who believes in protecting this restaurant's legacy, think happy thoughts." To everyone's amazement, as the customers, both human and alien, focused their positive emotions, every potato plant in and around the restaurant began to grow and glow. The plants formed a beautiful pattern of vines and flowers that looked like a map of the galaxy. XR backed away toward the door. "This isn't over. Nobody denies Mixordlax. Nobody." But Sarah wasn't listening to him anymore. She was reading the glowing pattern of potato vines with Professor Spudnik. The plants were spelling out words in an ancient language. "To those who share food with love, the stars give power from above. When hearts and soil and skills combine, the humble potato becomes divine." "It's your family's real recipe," Professor Spudnik whispered. "Not just for cooking potatoes, but for bringing people, all people, from Earth and beyond, together." Sarah Miller had never seen her family's small restaurant this packed before. Every table was filled with tall figures in long coats, all of them ordering potatoes. Tom had to call their cousins Mary and Jack to help in the kitchen, and they still couldn't keep up with orders. "Sarah," Tom called from the kitchen, "turn on the TV. Now." Sarah grabbed the remote and turned on the old TV above the counter. The screen flickered, but instead of the usual morning news, strange symbols floated across it. Then suddenly, the symbols changed into English. Emergency BROADCAST. Galactic NEWS NE2ORK. Translation Active for Earth CCTR. The image showed their restaurant, but from high above. A purple-skinned alien reporter stood in front of the picture, speaking perfectly clear English. "Breaking news. A miracle discovery on the primitive planet Earth. A small cooking establishment has been found serving potatoes, a remarkable root vegetable that causes immediate cellular regeneration in most galactic species." Sarah dropped her notepad. The customers in long coats stopped eating and looked at the TV. The reporter continued. "First discovered by Food Scout Zix 427. These potatoes contain compounds never before seen in the known galaxy. Watch this remarkable footage." The screen showed their strange customer from yesterday, but without his disguise, a tall, purple-skinned alien with golden patches where he had eaten their potatoes. He was speaking excitedly. "The Earth cooking method, called twice baked, increased my lifespan by 50 cycles. The French fried version improved my vision, and their mashed potatoes with gravy cured my scale rot instantly." Tom came out from the kitchen, his face pale. "Sarah, look outside." Beyond their parking lot, a line of what could only be spaceships stretched into the clouds. Some looked like silver discs, others like glowing pyramids, and one was shaped like a giant floating restaurant. A new group entered the restaurant. These aliens weren't wearing disguises. They had green skin and antennae, wearing what looked like business suits made of light. "We represent the Galactic Food Corporation," their leader said, placing a briefcase on the counter. It opened to reveal stacks of glowing crystals. "We wish to purchase your establishment and all potato-related secrets for 1 billion space credits." Before Sarah could respond, another group burst in. These ones with red skin and 4 arms each. 2 billion credits, they shouted. The TV was still going. "Scientists are baffled. The Earth potato appears to have different effects on different species. Reports are coming in of cured diseases, enhanced abilities, and even reversed aging. Earth restaurants are now being classified as Class A medical facilities." Sarah's phone started floating out of her pocket, surrounded by a blue light. It transformed into a sleek device, and alien social media posts started appearing. "Humans, ben hiding me or a lobe food." Hashtag Earth potatoes. Just remortgage my space mansion to try Earth fries. Worth it. Hashtag potato power. Theory. Humans evolved from potato gods. Discussing on Galactic chat. Tom grabbed Sarah's arm. What do? We can't handle this many customers. And what about these offers? Before Sarah could answer, their grandfather's old potato recipe book started glowing. The book floated off its shelf, ancient ketchup stains and all, surrounded by scanning beams from multiple aliens' devices. Stop, Sarah shouted, and surprisingly, everyone froze. She took a deep breath and spoke to the entire restaurant. Our family has been serving potatoes for 3 generations. We're not selling our restaurant, but maybe we can work something else out. The aliens leaned forward eagerly. But first, Sarah continued, picking up her grandfather's recipe book. Someone needs to explain exactly what's happening to our potatoes when we cook them. And why did no one notice this before? An elderly alien in the corner slowly stood up. Unlike the others, he wore simple robes decorated with mathematical formulas. My dear, he said in a whispery voice, that's the most fascinating part. You see, it's not just the potatoes. He pointed to their old copper pots hanging on the wall. It's the combination of Earth's soil, your family's cooking methods, and something else, something in your family's DNA. Every alien in the restaurant gasped. Sarah and Tom looked at each other, then at their hands, which had peeled thousands of potatoes over the years. The elderly alien smiled. Tell me, young humans, have you ever wondered why your family never gets sick? Why your grandfather lived to be 103? And why? He pointed to the small potato plant Sarah kept on the windowsill. Why your plants grow twice as fast as anyone else's. It's the smell of people cooking together, Sarah said, offering him a plate. No corporations, no profits, just food made with care for anyone who's hungry. The general took a bite. His severe expression melted like butter on a hot potato. The other members of the flavor force followed suit, their weapons transforming into cooking utensils. Above them, XR watched in fury as his forces were won over by the simple power of good food shared freely. His ships began to retreat, but not before he sent one final threat. The Galactic Food Court will hear about this. Let them come, Tom said, watching the ships leave. We've got something better than lawyers. What's that? Asked a young alien child, floating nearby. Sarah smiled, pulling another batch of Unity potatoes from the oven. We've got a recipe for peace, and there's always enough to share. As the sun set, the restaurant hosted the biggest potluck in human history. Earth dishes sat next to alien delicacies, all of them incorporating potatoes in new and wonderful ways. The potato plants continued their song. Softer now, a lullaby for a universe learning to cook together. And in the kitchen window, a new potato plant sprouted, its leaves spelling out words in every language of Earth and beyond. Food made with love will always be stronger than food made for profit. Professor Sputnik made a note in his space tablet. Day 7 of the Great Potato Revolution. Earth's greatest weapon turns out to be its cookbook. News screens across the galaxy flashed with an unprecedented announcement. Earth OPEN's first intergalactic potato ACADEMY. The Miller's restaurant had transformed, while the original dining room remained unchanged, now a historical landmark. The surrounding area had become something extraordinary. Massive greenhouses floated above the parking lot, their walls made of transparent force fields. Inside, potato plants grew in spiraling patterns, fed by a mixture of earth soil and stardust. Sarah stood at the entrance of the new academy, watching as the first class of students arrived. There were alien farmers with color-changing leaves instead of hair, earth chefs carrying their lucky spatulas, and even a group of sentient clouds who could control weather for perfect growing conditions. Welcome to the first day of potato studies, Sarah announced. Behind her, Tom was working with Professor Sputnik to set up the history of the potato exhibit, which included their grandfather's recipe book, now hovering in a special display case that showed its recipes in all known galactic languages. But something unexpected happened during the first lesson. Today, we'll learn basic potato planting. Sarah began, holding up a seed potato that glowed softly. But when an alien student from Galaxy Z789 tried to plant it in their home soil sample, the potato disappeared in a puff of sparkles. Professor Sputnik's telescope glasses extended in alarm. Fascinating. It seems Earth potatoes can't exist in foreign soil. They're dimension-specific. The discovery caused chaos. Alien representatives began arguing about fair trade agreements. That's when Linda, a local farmer's daughter, noticed something strange about her pet hamster's cage. Look. She pointed to where her hamster had stashed a potato piece in its bedding. The potato had grown, but not normally. It had created a tiny portal showing the hamster's dreams of endless potato fields. Professor Sputnik scanned the phenomenon. Of course, the emotional connection. The potatoes don't just need Earth soil, they need Earth dreams. This led to the creation of the Dream Potato Initiative. Every Earth farmer partnered with an alien family. The aliens would share their dreams and hopes while sleeping near the potato fields, and the potatoes would grow into shapes that represented those dreams. The Miller's restaurant became the testing ground for these new dream potatoes. Each one was unique. The Starlight Spud. Shaped like constellations, it tasted like your favorite childhood memory. The Unity Tuber could be shared across unlimited distances while staying warm. The Wisdom Wedge. French fries that temporarily let you understand all languages. But with success came new challenges. Some aliens became addicted to Earth potato dreams. They'd float outside the restaurant for days, hoping to catch a whiff of French fry smoke. The Galactic Health Administration had to create a new department, the Bureau of Responsible Potato Consumption. One morning, Tom found a group of tiny alien children, each no bigger than a potato, hiding in the pantry. They had evolved to look like potatoes to try to sneak into the academy. Instead of sending them away, Sarah created a special program called Small Spuds Academy for young aliens to learn responsible potato appreciation. The original potato plant in the restaurant window had grown into what they now called the mother tuber. It connected all potato plants across Earth through a network of glowing roots that pulsed with shared dreams. Whenever someone on Earth cooked potatoes with love, the mother tuber would chime a different note, creating an endless symphony of potato cooking music. But one day, the mother tuber revealed something unprecedented. Its leaves formed into a screen showing a message from the future. Beware the void potato. Darkness comes to steal Earth's dreams. Sarah looked at Tom, then at Professor Sputnik, who was frantically taking notes. What's a void potato? Before anyone could answer, all the potatoes in the academy began to glow red in warning. In the distance, a dark spot appeared in the sky, shaped exactly like a potato, but absorbing all light around it. Professor Sputnik's glasses cracked from the readings. It's impossible. Someone has created an anti-potato, a tuber that consumes dreams instead of growing from them. Sarah touched her grandmother's apron, which was now glowing with protective symbols. How do we fight something that eats dreams? The mother tuber's leaves rustled, spelling out one word: together. Around the world, every potato plant synchronized their growth, preparing for what would become known as the Great Potato War. But this time, the weapon wouldn't be potatoes. It would be the dreams of every being who had ever shared a meal at Joe's family restaurant. Professor Sputnik smiled despite the looming danger. Perhaps this is what your grandfather meant when he wrote, "In times of darkness, serve extra portions." Sarah nodded, heading to the kitchen. It was time to cook the most important batch of potatoes in Galaxy's history. The void potato was getting closer, and worlds across the galaxy were going dark, losing their ability to dream. But at Joe's family restaurant, Sarah had a plan. She stood in the kitchen, her grandmother's apron now transformed into a suit of glowing chef's armor, reading the newest recipe that had appeared in their grandfather's book: Emergency Dream Fries. for fighting cosmic darkness. It's time to expand, Sarah announced to the gathered crowd of human and alien chefs. Not just the restaurant, but hope itself. The mother tuber had spread its roots across Earth, connecting every potato farm through a network of dreams. Now those roots were creating something new: potato portals. These golden doorways appeared in restaurants worldwide, allowing instant travel between all Earth's potato-serving establishments. Tom burst through one such portal, his chef's hat now able to translate any language it heard. The first dream kitchen is ready. The dream kitchen was their greatest creation yet, a massive flying restaurant made from parts of the original diner mixed with alien technology. Its walls were built from their grandfather's old copper pots, now enlarged and enchanted. The kitchen equipment had evolved too. The fryers could cook in zero gravity. The ovens ran on pure hope energy. The peelers could reveal the dreams hidden inside each potato. The graters played music that made plants grow faster. But the void potato had its own plans. As the dream kitchen took its first flight, dark spores fell from the sky, infecting regular potatoes and turning them into nightmare spuds, potatoes that made you forget how to dream. Professor Spudnik, his telescope glasses now able to see through time, made a startling discovery. The void potato. It's not just eating dreams. It's eating memories of how to cook with love. That's when Linda's hamster, which had been living near the mother tuber, suddenly spoke. The answer is in the leftovers. Everyone stared at the hamster, but it had already gone back to stuffing potatoes in its cheeks. However, its words made Sarah realize something important. She ran to the restaurant's compost bin, where they'd been collecting potato peels for years. Look. She held up a handful of peels that sparkled with decades of happy customer memories. Every peel contains a piece of the dreams people shared while eating here. This led to the creation of memory mash, a dish made from potato peels that could restore lost dreams. The Dream Kitchen began mass-producing it, with each Earth restaurant adding their own local memories to the recipe. New York's peels tasted like midnight taxi rides. Paris's peels contained forgotten love stories. Tokyo's peels sparkled with neon lights. Mumbai's peels danced with festival colors. The potato portals expanded, appearing in homes across Earth. Anyone cooking potatoes with love could now instantly share their dish with someone who needed hope. The mother tuber coordinated it all, its leaves displaying a real-time map of dream restoration across the galaxy. But some aliens started experiencing strange side effects. A group from the Andromeda galaxy began floating whenever they smelled French fries. Some developed the ability to photosynthesize through their dreams. Others started speaking in potato recipes while sleeping. The Bureau of Responsible Potato Consumption created a new emergency hotline, 1-800-2-CUD, offering support for those overwhelmed by potato-related abilities. As the Dream Kitchen flew through space, serving memory mash to affected worlds, they discovered something unexpected. The void potato wasn't just a cosmic threat. It was lonely. It had never been invited to share a meal. Sarah stood at the Dream Kitchen's helm, looking out at the dark mass approaching Earth. The mother tuber's roots had spelled out one final message. Sometimes, the greatest recipe is forgiveness. Tom, she said, prepare the biggest table we've ever set. We're going to invite darkness to dinner. Professor Spudnik checked his readings. But the void potato consumes everything. Sarah smiled, touching the wall of the Dream Kitchen, feeling the memories of 3 generations of family meals. Not everything. It's never tasted food cooked with love. As they prepared for the ultimate dinner service, potato plants worldwide began to glow, their leaves turning silver in anticipation. The hamster spoke again, this time in an ancient potato prophecy. When darkness dines at light's table, the cosmic feast shall restore all dreams. The final battle for the galaxy's dreams would not be fought with weapons, but with an invitation to share a meal at the biggest family restaurant in history. The Dream Kitchen hovered at the edge of Earth's atmosphere, its copper walls gleaming with the combined hopes of billions. The table they had prepared stretched impossibly long, made from pieces of every family restaurant on Earth, each section holding memories of countless shared meals. The void potato arrived not with a bang, but with a whisper of loneliness that made every potato plant on Earth shed golden tears. These tears, collecting in the mother tuber's roots, formed into something unprecedented. The welcome home fry, a single French fry containing the essence of every family dinner ever served. "Ready?" Sarah asked, her chef's armor now showing moving images of every meal cooked in their restaurant's history. Tom nodded, his translator hat playing a symphony of sizzling potatoes from around the world. Professor Spudnik's final readings were off the charts. The void potato's emptiness. It's not destroying dreams, it's searching for them. The truth revealed itself in the mother tuber's leaves. The void potato was Earth's first potato, lost in space eons ago, before humans learned to cook with love. It had been wandering the cosmos, growing darker with each passing millennium, forgetting its origins. The dream kitchen's doors opened. The void potato entered, a massive dark mass that seemed to absorb all hope. But then something magical happened. Linda's prophetic hamster jumped onto the table and began arranging potato peels into a pattern that glowed with ancestral memories. "Welcome home," Sarah said, offering the welcome home fry. The moment the void potato tasted it, reality itself transformed. Every potato on Earth sprouted wings made of golden light. The mother tuber's roots created a network of floating gardens, restaurant tables across the galaxy linked together through potato-powered portals. Cooking fires everywhere began speaking ancient recipes. Lost family cookbooks appeared, their pages filled with new possibilities. The void potato began to shrink, its darkness replaced by billions of tiny lights, each one a lost dream it had collected over the centuries. As these dreams returned to their owners, they left behind something precious. The original recipe, written in potato starch and starlight. The original recipe wasn't just for cooking. It was a blueprint for connecting hearts across the universe. The Miller family restaurant had become its guardian, not because they were special, but because they had never stopped believing in the power of sharing food with love. Years later, the restaurant industry had evolved. Flying food trucks sailed between stars. Drive-thrus opened in asteroid belts. The Small Spuds Academy graduated its first class of potato-shaped diplomats. Memory mash became a universal peacekeeping tool. The mother tuber developed a galactic delivery service through Dreammail. But Joe's family restaurant remained unchanged. A simple diner where anyone, from any world, could sit down for a hot meal and feel at home. Sarah and Tom still cooked every day, now helped by their children who had inherited the family's potato whispering abilities. The void potato. It found its place too. Transformed into the heart potato, it became the restaurant's greeter, sharing a piece of its infinite dream collection with every guest who felt lonely. Professor Spudnik's final diary entry read, "The greatest scientific discovery in galactic history wasn't about potatoes at all. It was about the Miller family's secret ingredient, the courage to share love one plate at a time." In the window of Joe's family restaurant, the original potato plant still grows. Its leaves now spell out messages in every language ever dreamed. But the most common one remains the simplest. All are welcome here, hope served daily, family portions available. And on quiet nights, if you listen carefully, you can hear the mother tuber singing lullabies to all the young potato plants across the cosmos, reminding them of their true purpose, not just to feed bodies, but to nourish dreams. Sarah, hanging up her now legendary apron each night, often says, "In the end, grandfather was right. The best recipes don't just feed people, they feed the future." And somewhere in the infinite cosmos, on countless worlds and space stations, families gather around tables to share a meal, telling stories about the little Earth restaurant that taught the galaxy how to dream again, one potato at a time.